Everyone has their favorite.
Snake.
Oh, I think you called the wrong number.
Colonel, what's going on?
I'm like doing like a bit here where...
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Zach from Amateur Game Review.
Never heard of you.
I mean, that's kind of rude. I'm not famous or anything, but, you know, I'm a pretty big fan.
I know, hero.
Yeah, that's my bad. I can't believe I, set you up for that. Anyway, I'm doing a Metal Gear review.
Metal Gear.
Okay, this guy. Let me turn this off. All right, that was a bit frustrating, but I'm just going to continue. You know what? You already seen the thumbnail and the title. You know what I'm doing. I'm having my wife review Metal Gear Solid, and there's a big reason. Everyone has their favorites, whether it's a video game, a book, a TV show, a movie, something that you've probably said, I wish that I could forget this and re-experience it for the first time. And we all know that we can't do that. But did the next best thing. I've made someone else experience it for the first time so that we can have an unbiased, honest opinion about Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation 1. First, let me introduce you to my lovely wife, Kirby. Why don't you tell the people why you are qualified to review this game?
Why am I qualified?
You're not. That's the best part. What is your experience with gaming?
I watch you play a lot of games. That's it.
Do you have any kind of reviewing experience?
No.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is just ask you a series of questions about the game, kind of lead you around, have you give your opinion on it, and then I will tell you why you're wrong and why this is the greatest game of all time. Why don't you explain what Metal Gear Solid is?
It is a game about a guy who has come out of retirement, used to be part of a special squad. He's going to go save the world from his former team, and there's a lot of guns for shooting and a bomb.
So you really oversold the unqualified. It started off really good. I was impressed. I was like, oh my God, she actually was paying attention.
This game did not have a story that pulled me in, so a lot of my time watching was spent looking up the voice actors to see what else they had been in.
Did you find out anything interesting?
Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in it, but that's it.
I am already so disappointed.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You actually did a really good job of leading me into my next question, and which was going to be the biggest part of the Metal Gear series is the story. And you already said that it didn't pull you in. So why didn't it?
It just wasn't really something I cared about, I guess. It seemed like, this was a sequel, or is this the first game? Like, I felt like I got dropped into a thing that I had no clue what was going on. There was a lot of, like, history that was important to what was happening between characters, maybe.
And I said when we started the game, right before, I said, do you want to watch this video on the first 2 NES games? It will really help you kind of, set the stage a little bit. And you're like, no, I'm good. I want to experience it fresh.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. And I wasn't experiencing it fresh because we had played the first, hour before.
Yeah, you kept saying that, and I don't remember that at all.
But I told you exactly what happened.
Yeah, I know, and you're obviously right. We did. So I guess I should say the plan was for her to play this for the first time, but evidently at some point it must have been a decade ago or so.
Yeah, not quite a decade, but yeah.
Not quite a decade, but a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I still feel like this was your first experience though, because I mean, that's not really that far into the game.
No, it felt like forever.
Oh God. That's just because evidently you hated it.
You know who loved it, though? Gray. It was right up his alley.
You're doing exactly what you just had a problem with Metal Gear doing. You're introducing characters that they don't know what is. But you are right. Gray, our 5-year-old son, who should not have been watching this game, absolutely loved this game, to the point where he pretended to be Solid Snake quite a few times throughout the week following. I will say that the story, it is very convoluted, and they don't hold your hand. It jumps you right in. It's not like, oh, here's all this backstory and an intro and stuff, and let's introduce you to the characters. And it was kind of like that back when it was first experienced. I had never played. There are 2 previous games, both for MSX in Japan. They did do a port to America for the first one, but not the second one. So pretty much everyone who played this game for the first time was coming in not really knowing the backstory, and they were just thrown in.
I do think that there was one point, because at the beginning when he was like just sitting in the cell or whatever, and we had to click through all of there was a lot of background on characters and stuff, but it was not presented in a way that you wanted to pay attention to. It was like, can we just like get through this and get on to the game?
It's funny because I've watched those cutscenes probably 15, 20 times throughout my life. Different times I've played it. And this was the most stressful because the whole time we were watching it, I was like, oh, she is hating this. This is not going well.
I didn't hate it. It just was boring. Like to me, I don't know.
The fate of the world was on the line.
I didn't feel that. I didn't. The urgency wasn't there because it was like, here, read 12 pages about this character. Okay, well, if the fate of the world's on the line, maybe we should condense it into a couple sentences. Or can you tell us while we're on the go?
I just maintain that you're being a hater right now. I think everyone has this fear of introducing someone they care about to something they love. They're just like, oh, you like this? Well, here's why it sucks ass.
No, I mean, that's just boring. I truly did not care for and this is actually why Gray probably shouldn't have watched it, because the graphics and everything hid a lot of the violence.
Yeah, we're talking 1998 here.
But the over-sexualization and just like some of the comments that the characters made about the female characters, and I mean, poor graphics aside, one of the characters had like a shirt or a suit or something that was like cut down to her navel, and like her whole entire chest was practically exposed. Like
Sniper Wolf.
Yeah. So I mean, I get she's supposed to be sexy and like the femme fatale, but it just was overdone. It was in your face too much, I feel like. But they are marketing this towards probably like teenage boys. So
I'm not sure if it was directed at teenage boys back then. I know now the series in general isn't directed at teenage boys. It's basically me. Someone who grew up with the series and loves it. I will say Hideo Kojima, he has a long history of weird female characters. Part of it is it's Japanese culture. All of the female characters are over-sexualized to the point in one of the later games that like all of the main bad guys are just basically war versions of models. Every one of those characters, he's like, oh, here's the over-sexualization, but also I'm a woman. I can do everything that a man can do. Here I am in the military. I am just as strong as they are. Like some of the strongest characters in the series in general are women. So it's like he does both sides of it. The over-sexualization is so much that it's hard to kind of respect it. You know what I mean?
That was at the point. It was just so annoying and I hated the game. Then at the end, the saving grace for me was when you were telling me like all of the themes of his games are like, I don't remember exactly what you said, but like, for example, this game at the end, they showed like the footage of the nuclear,
like the waste disposal plants and
right.
stuff.
Like, I mean, that's legit. Like we have one of those in our area.
Oh yes. The themes and stuff that he actually bases the stories off of are very deep to the point where the second game basically predicted the future, which hopefully we will go forward. I'm not 100% sure that we will.
I don't know. I've seen, what is the one you and Gray are playing, 5?
Yeah.
His hair is not good in that one.
That one's kind of, we don't have time to get into that. That one's an unfinished mess. But anyway, let's move past the story and let's talk about the actual characters, because that's probably the most important thing in this game. The characters are both over the top, which we've touched on them a little bit. We were talking about Meryl and Sniper Wolf. Yeah.
Meryl was probably a perfect example of that I'm a woman and I can do anything a man can do. Because that was something that that's the redheaded one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she kept saying that throughout the game.
Barely even paid attention, evidently. That's the redheaded.
Well, there's a lot. There's like Mei Ling, who you saved with, and then there was the blonde one that was the bad guy, but she wasn't the bad guy, because that was Master Miller, who is Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, is that who ended up being Leonardo?
Yeah. You didn't recognize his voice. Just imagine him talking like a really like horrible like Californian accent, and you could just close your eyes and picture it.
I never even thought about it. I do know that the Colonel, I'm pretty sure he's on like Danny Phantom or something like that.
Mm-hmm. He was my favorite character.
The Colonel?
Yeah.
Hate the Colonel.
Love him.
All right.
Top-notch guy.
He's a lying asshole. But anyway.
I don't remember I don't remember their names. I remember Mei Ling's, but I think we heard it so much.
What do you mean we hurt it so much? I didn't save it that often. I don't need to save. I'm a professional gamer. I don't die.
Right.
There were so most of the characters, the main characters, other than like Solid Snake and his codec team, were the bad guys. Liquid Snake, Revolver Ocelot.
I couldn't stand that guy.
Raven, Sniper Wolf, Decoy Octopus.
We really didn't see much of him. Almost kind of like that guy from The Boys. Like he's there, but he doesn't really get a lot of screen time.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Translucent.
Oh, Translucent.
See, you don't even know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess that kind of proves your point. But yeah, Decoy Octopus is like, oh, he's a character, but then he kind of,
Was he more present in the other games?
No, never. No.
Okay.
You saw him, you just didn't realize you seen him until the end of the game. They're like, oh no, that wasn't actually this person.
Like they pulled with this one. Like, that wasn't the president of whatever, DARPA.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Decoy Octopus.
Okay.
He was pretending to be him. That the DARPA chief was already dead.
Right, because we get to spend time with him.
Yes. Were there any characters you actually enjoyed?
The Colonel.
You didn't like Revolver?
No, I didn't.
Just based off of this game, I don't think I would either. But he is one of the only villains that continues throughout the series.
Really?
He's in all of the games.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't care for him. Who else we got? I liked Mantis. He was a little repetitive with his one line that he kept when we were fighting him.
Yeah, but he didn't have a lot of material because we didn't have a memory card that actually he could read or anything. Mantis brings up like all of the stuff that the game was really groundbreaking for back in the day.
And I think that probably would have been cool if I had experienced that. But
when you were 8?
Oh, when I was 8. I don't think I played video games when I was 8.
I don't think you play video games now.
No, not like you. I think that would be that would be like crazy. Oh my gosh, he's reading my memory card. And
the way to beat him is to move the...
And how would you find that out? You just have to figure it out. Oh my God, we'd be playing that forever.
Well, the Colonel actually, like, the more you call, the more your team is trying to figure it out, and he tells you...
so he gets tired of you screwing around, and he's
he gets
like,
tired
just
of
do
you
it.
messing up. He's like, he's reading your controller port. Try changing it, and you know. But they do a lot of stuff with the fourth wall in general, like putting you're talking about when you're in. There's a section like you're in the vents and stuff, and Snake's like, I've got like a pain in my neck, and they have you put the controller on it, and they just start vibrating the controller.
Oh, you did that with Gray.
Yeah, I knew that was coming up, so I stuck it on the back of his head, and he was like, "What is going on?" He's a little kid, so he thought it was really cool. My favorite one to this day is the codec.
The code being on the box.
Yeah, like the guy saying, "Oh, I can't remember what her thing is." Oh, you know what? It's on the back of the CD case. Back in the day, because you have one of your items is like an optical disc in your inventory. Mm-hmm. I spent forever like cycling through trying to figure out how to use that optical disc. No, they actually mean the CD case. And even on the new PS5 release of the Master Collection, they still put that codec number on the back as a screenshot to still play into that.
And that's cool. A lot of those Easter eggs, that's stuff that I like that probably wouldn't do well because you have so many people that are like bad about spoiling stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even us right now, if someone's never played Metal Gear and they're listening to this,
well, surely they wouldn't click on this.
Well, no one's going to click on this anyway. So I guess the final category to talk about is the actual gameplay. And this is an older PlayStation 1 title, so it does show its age, but what did you think about the actual gameplay, not just what did you think about the actual gameplay?
It was okay. I don't know. I don't play games that shoot because it stresses me out.
Does it stress you out to watch them?
No, but that was when I paid attention the least. Like when the shooting was happening, there's no story there. There's no, draw for me. So that was when I was reading about
the voice acting.
Yeah, the voice actors. What should I have thought about the gameplay?
What you should have thought is not only does this game stand up well for how old it is, it stands up well in general. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's an older title and could be considered in many ways quite outdated. However, when it comes to the stealth genre, it plays surprisingly well. No, it's not as polished gameplay-wise as MGS5, but it's a completely different style. The top-down viewpoint still works amazingly well and leads to some really good gameplay moments that you wouldn't have if it was an over-the-shoulder third-person view. Now, the gunplay is probably the weakest part of Metal Gear, and it definitely hasn't aged well. But it also isn't the star of the show. The guns take a back seat to the stealth, and as such, it doesn't kill the entire feel of the game. That being said, you do have to use the guns quite a bit, unlike later entries where you can do completely stealthy playthroughs. Overall, though, for a PlayStation 1 era game, it holds up better than most of them. But honestly, I think we talked about most of it. Let's move on to final thoughts. What do you think about Metal Gear?
4 of 10.
I didn't expect you to rate it. that felt like, ooh, that hurt.
Well,
that's a low score.
It gets points because someone who plays a lot of video games that are flashy and bright and you know, who can't stand to sit through commercials and stuff, he sat here and he was invested. In fact, he asked to play it several times. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just because I wasn't interested in it doesn't mean that it's not a good game and it's not interesting to other people. It's not marketed toward me. It's not something that they're like, hey, let's go get girls to, you know.
Yeah, I guess like those are some pretty good points. What were some of the pros for it other than like the actual game itself?
It was pretty quick.
That's your positive, is that the suffering didn't last very long?
Well, I mean, it was quick and mostly painless. There was some interesting little things you had to do. I liked the Easter eggs. I thought those were cool. I'm just thinking about the section where you're in the cell with the DARPA chief or the president or whatever, and he's dead, and you have a ketchup packet, and you're just like, you know,
yeah,
faking your death. Like, that's so dumb.
I guess this will probably be the last time that I ever have you play something I care about.
You said at the beginning, is it nostalgia or is it truly a good game? And I think it might just be nostalgia, because 8-year-old Zach thought this was a really cool game, and for its time, it was. Mm-hmm. But I'm in 2024, and I'm not 8 years old.
So basically, you're saying if I still enjoy this, I'm probably a child.
No, but I'm saying the only other person in the house that enjoyed it is 5. So
throwing a lot of shade here. For me, after playing and thinking about it in like a modern aspect, I still consider this one of my favorite games ever. And a lot of that probably is nostalgia, but it holds up relatively well, mainly because it feels different than anything else that happens with AAA gaming. And it is quite a bit over the top, but I still enjoy the story and the characters and the crazy twists and turns that the series is known for. But that basically does it. Would you be willing, I guess here's the ultimate question, would you be willing to continue playing this series?
Yeah.
A very detailed response.
Well, I was just thinking, like, I think maybe part of the reason I wasn't interested in the story is because I kind of already knew, like, you were talking about twists and turns. Mm-hmm. I already knew who the secret bad guy was.
How was that?
Well, when you look up the voice actor, it tells you not only is he Master Miller, but he is also the voice of Liquid Snake.
So when did that happen? Was that very early on?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Early on.
Well, maybe that had something to do with it at least.
Oh, yeah.
But that's good that you would be willing to continue. I think that says a lot about it. But if you enjoyed this video, let us know. Comment. Let me know if you would like to see Kirby review other games, maybe. Maybe you have a favorite game that you would like her to just destroy right in front of you. Kirby, would you like to say anything in closing?
Nope.
You heard it here first. See you in the next video.